I used to live out on this crazy island, Ibiza. Dude, the way that I even heard about this island was crazy. I was watching this show. We have a show in the US called a serious news show with this lady. Her name is and she's a serious journalist. And I believe she was out doing a kind of like an expose on this crazy party island called Ibiza. And the whole entire like expose is warning you, like basically trying to warn you, like, don't go to Ibiza, don't let your children go to Ibiza, you don't go to Ibiza, it's wild. She was talking to this one girl that I remember in particular. She was like, I've been awake for like 4 days. And at the time, I used to party a lot, and I was like, I gotta get to that island. Expose is trying to warn you, like, don't go to Ibiza, but I think Ibiza is great. Never missed a flight in my life. In Ibiza, I missed my first flight. I didn't have a credit card on me. I said, once the money runs out, that's it, you're done, you're going home. I missed the flight because I went to this party called the Zoo Project. Things just got crazy for me in the zoo. I missed my flight, my mates all left, and I was stuck on the island. I went back to my hotel that I was staying at. The guy at the front desk in ANAN'E was really, really cool. He actually gave me a free room for 2 days and told me I needed to chill out for a little bit. And that's exactly what I did. The next summer, I decided it was time to actually move out to Ibiza so I can really experience it. And I've been to a lot of places, from Egypt to China to Israel, back in the US and the States. The #1 question that I get, no one asks me about the pyramids in Egypt, they don't ask me about Jerusalem. Everyone asks me, what is Ibiza like?
Well, I've been coming out here for the last 6 years, but it was only the beginning of last year that I decided to actually move out here. So move away from England and set up shop here. So, and I haven't regretted it. It's the best choice I've ever made. Compared to what I was like back in England, compared to what I am now, there is a change, and I think Ibiza does change you. It's the only way to get, you know, the real answers that we're looking for, is to speak to people that actually live on the island, the people that have been here for a long time, not just your person that comes out here for a couple of weeks holiday, gets off their head and, you know, parties all day. No, it's not the real Ibiza.
Everybody comes here for a reason, whether they know the reason they're coming for at the start or not.
I can't put my finger to it, but it's just there. There's something magical about this island that keeps everybody want to come back.
Whatever you wish to find, you can find it in Ibiza.
And I really, really loved it straight away. I fell in love at the first sight with Ibiza.
When you get here, there's nowhere else in the world like this island.
It's a special place where you have all kinds of people coming together, nationalities. It's a happy place. It's a hippie island where there's love, music, parties, but also super beautiful.
And I still see it. I still see people when the plane touches the ground, people clap and cheer.
I just didn't want to leave anymore. I felt home straight away.
I've been all over the world, but when I came here, something said to me, this is home. It's intangible.
Yeah, it's like visiting a family. Yeah, it's like coming home, I would say. Yeah, it feels like coming home. You know, you get out of the airport, straight into the island, and it feels like there's your mother standing just in front of the door, which opens up and gives you a big hug. You know, that's how it feels for me. Like.
I've always kind of dreamed of Ibiza, so the first time I ever got to play here, it's really, it's every DJ's dream is Ibiza is.
I was working in a communication agency specializing in promoting and producing movies. In an office, 9 to 7, far from what my life is now. Now my only regret is to not have come to Ibiza earlier.
Attracted by the stories I heard and the freedom that one will find here, the letting go of everything, and that was like a moth to a flame. I just wanted to go and I wanted to see it for myself. I fell in love. It was love at first sight, and I fell in the kettle.
Listen, I dreamt about being a DJ, but I could not even imagine being a DJ on a billboard like this at probably one of the most important clubs in one of the most important islands of the world.
This is
Ibiza.
All right.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Take me on a ride.
Hi, my name is Jermaine, and I'm going to take you on an exclusive backstage tour of one of my favorite islands on the planet, Ibiza.
I'm from Belfast. This is my first time in Ibiza since I was 14. It's sick, absolutely unreal.
It's just a good mix of friendly, happy people, really, as well.
I mean, everyone's just so laid back during the day that they're almost falling over.
Has got that magical feeling of, you know, it just draws people to the island.
I'll try not to close my eyes. If I were to stay in here forever.
Ibiza for me, people is like more on the holiday all the time. People that live here and they are on a lifetime holiday.
It's a lifestyle.
Away into the night.
Ibiza. Everything. And now, every time I fly to Ibiza, I just get a little butterflies in my tummy and I just feel like I'm returning home. The best place to be in the whole wide world. I just couldn't think of anywhere else to live.
Because I think going out all night is part of what growing up is all about.
How do you know about Ibiza?
How I know about what? I'm 17 years here, I know everything. I learn how to survive, how to live, how to become a man here. You become strong in this island.
Everybody is kind of like wondering why Ibiza has got such a special energy.
You're hearing your favourite records played by some of the best DJs in the world.
It's just a party island and it's 24 hours.
It's an island of hippies, of freedom, of expression, of art. And so I think the natural progression from what it was to what it is now was in the nightlife in clubs.
The dance floor was where I was able to release and express myself, and I think that's what today being a DJ makes me understand what a DJ's role is that dance floor is your place of freedom. Nothing else exists when you're on that dance floor except you and the music and what the journey of the DJ takes you on. And so any problems that you have, anything that's going on in life, whatever battles you go, are all left at the door. And for those hours on that dance floor is your place of freedom.
If you go to the right party, what you get is kind of like something that unites people from all over the world. It doesn't matter what God you believe in or what passport you hold. People come together to have a great time.
You know, music is definitely the best natural high you can get.
It's like magic from above. It's like Christmas every day in Ibiza sometimes.
From the nightlife to the daytime to everything. It's fantastic.
You get the best people from all over the world come to Ibiza.
And I suppose that's what a big part of what Ibiza is. It brings everyone down to the same level. There's no animosity. No one's better than anyone else.
I've had so many memorable times. It's just unbelievable, unbelievable. I can't fathom.
The best holiday destination in the world. We have everything over here, you know.
There's so much choice. I don't think you find it anywhere in the world.
And this island is, and I've lived in Israel, I've lived in Australia, I've lived in India, I've lived in Greece, of course England. I've never seen anything like it.
Ibiza is a place where you can reinvent yourself and be who you're supposed to be, instead of being the person that you are due to the constraints of the people around you.
So the more you let yourself go, the more you can go on this ecstatic journey.
Surrounded by so much good energy, good people. There's no stress here for me, you know, even when I feel like I'm having a bad day, it's not actually a bad day here, and I feel that's what this island does.
First time I came here was 1988. I came here as a tourist. The island was totally different than what it is now. Came here, I think, in '99, the first time as a DJ. So to come back later so many years and to be actually able to perform here, that was a great feeling.
The whole world wants to be here. Very few can stay. Very few can make it.
I came here with my parents when I was 12. They let me go off and explore, and I was just looking at this place thinking, wow.
The first time I landed in Ibiza, when a friend of mine picked me up, left the bag in the boot of the car and went straight into space to see Carl Cox. I'm not a very spiritual person, but every time I land in Ibiza, it's like, oh, you know, you feel, I don't know, I feel like a weight is lifted off my arms and I feel relaxed.
Long story short, I was getting discharged from Royal Marine training because I my knee, so I booked my ticket, come out here, didn't have a clue. I was thinking it's going to be like, you know, Magaluf or whatever. And then 8 years later, I'm still here, basically.
I first came to Ibiza when I was a young child with my family, and I remember I used to see all the girls walk by on the parade. Yeah. I was doing ballet at the time, like as a young child, so I always thought like I'd love to do something like that. But then, you know, then I forgot all about it, and then when I was 18 or 19, I came out here just to do like a summer season. Okay. When I was on my break from university, and that's when I seen all the dancers and went to all the clubs and fell in love with the music, and then I was like, okay, this is going to be my life now. And that was it.
And I made some really, really, really good relationships here with a lot of cool people. So I'm grateful, I'm thankful that I came to Ibiza. Ibiza showed me so much love, dude. Like, I moved out to Ibiza with literally, I don't even know what I had. I had a dream, I had a couple €100 on me, and I had some hope. Like, I hope this works out for me. But I did not have a place when I moved out here. I just jumped out here and just came, and that's kind of how Ibiza kind of operates. People always ask me all the time, like, you know, in terms of working and stuff, like, well, how do I do and how do I get this? I'm like, dude, you gotta just show up. You gotta show up on the island and it'll all work out. I can't explain it to you other than saying just that. It's nothing that you can plan for ahead of time, even though I tried to plan stupidly for what I'm doing now. But again, you cannot plan. You can't plan for Ibiza. It kind of just happens.
I was a little bit lost, let's say like that. I needed to start again. I said, if I have to start from zero, you know what? I started in a place I would like to live. I came for a vacation 1 week, and I decided, I said, next week I will move here. So I went back to Italy, I sold everything, and I started again. Yeah.
And then you came to Ibiza.
And I came to Ibiza. For me, it was the island of opportunities. The island is beautiful. Living here is a gift of God.
You hear so much about the island. It's magic. It's hippie. It's the place to party. I remember when I first landed there. Aside from just a beautiful, beautiful place, how much branding you see on the island. How much goes into creating these parties in the clubs, and how much work. On one side, it's fun for the tourists, for people who go to party. On the other side, it's really 365 days of work that is put in to create brands, to have nights working between concept dancers, lineup DJs. It's a place of hustle, you know, it really is.
I first heard about Ibiza, I guess, like anybody else, watching, I would say, trash documentaries about people getting wasted, going out, clubs, DJs, and everything that the whole world believe Ibiza is all about. And when I first came, I came for these reasons. I was with one of my best friends. We wanted a cheap place where we could go out and have fun. And Ibiza was just the perfect destination for us. And I found out straight away, my first night, that it was very, very different from what I was expecting. I landed at 6:30 and I was having a mojito at 8, watching my first sunset at Cap d'Espalco. I was hooked. That kind of knew I was going to live one day there. When I left my first time, I remember feeling really, really depressed. I was not supposed to come back anytime soon, but I booked a ticket, and the next week I was back for the 3 extra weeks. And when I left again, I felt even more depressed than the first time. So then I kind of knew that I had to find a way to stay there.
So I first heard about Ibiza in 1999, I think. My friend was a hard house and trance raver, and he was like, yeah, you got to come to Ibiza. I was raving in London at the time to like loads of hard house raves like Camden Palais, Lords of the Underground, and raves like that. And he was like, you've got to come to Ibiza. So I was just like, yeah, let's do it. First landed in Ibiza, and I will never ever forget this. We were driving, we got like a transfer coach from the airport to San Antonio. And I remember driving through like the windy roads by Egg actually, and there was like a group of people just coming out of a club, and they looked, I just remember looking into their eyes and thinking they have had an absolutely banging night. And that's when I got goosebumps. I was like, I literally can't wait to get into the clubs and experience it myself.
I mean, I first came to the island in 1986. We came over with some DJs, people like Giles Peterson, Pete Tong, Johnny Walker, Danny Ramplin, and we were all part of this crowd, this clique. Every sunset we go to Cafe Del Mar, we'd watch the sun go down. But at that moment in time when I came, I knew that it was a place for party people. I knew there was a lot of hedonism going on. I knew that great music was being played. But I did never imagine that it would become the destination that it is now.
When I started coming here, 21, 22 years old, I was just getting into the clubbing scene, just starting to learn to DJ. Came here for my first holiday, and immediately I was hooked, I was addicted. And for the next 15 years, I returned as a season worker, and every single time something happened which give me such a beautiful, special experience that it kept me coming back again. And the more I've come back, the more I've connected with the island, the more of the different parts of the island, the beauty of the island, the different people on the island, the different experiences I've seen.
My friend crashed his car. He didn't have enough money to pay for the holiday, so I went and placed for him, and I came here and I had what was the best 7 days of my life. Like, as a 18, I was 18 years old, like just a completely new environment, and I loved every second of it. And I said, at the end of the holiday, I said, I'm going to live here. I gave up everything and moved over here just with the intentions to work, and I was just going to do anything possible to stay here. Well, that's kind of the beauty. You don't really know what's going to happen. So if you ask me what I'm doing tomorrow, I'm like, I don't really know. I like to like judge what day of the week it is on what party. Yeah. You're like, you know it's Thursday if Cream's on, and you know it's Saturday if Ant's on. So I would fall into that category of like, oh, Do Not Sleep's on. Oh, it's Tuesday. It's like,
I didn't actually fly here because we wanted to bring records to sell to DJs because there was no internet. So we had a van, we just filled it with loads of vinyls. We drove through France, came here on the ferry. I always remember thinking, I'm not going to come here again properly unless I'm a resident DJ somewhere playing. So yeah, that was like 20 years ago, but it's great to be DJing here now all the time. Yeah.
200 people going mental on the plane, it was wicked. It was just the unknown, do you know what I mean? I didn't know what I was going into, what sort of a holiday it was going to be, didn't know what to expect, and I've never experienced anywhere like Ibiza before. The taxi journey over to San Antonio was going past big clubs, Amnesia and Privilege, like I'd never even anticipated a club could be as big as them, do you know what I mean?
You know, the entry point, the gateway to Ibiza for the younger generation of clubbers is San Antonio, so that's where we wanted to be.
There's still a lot of kids coming to Ibiza. They start here. This is your first steps into Ibiza. Town where we are living, the Bay of San Antonio, is an amazing, super beautiful spot where it's not only about clubbing. You know, we have beautiful hotels, beaches, nature.
I think San Antonio's got a lot nicer over the years than when I first started coming here.
I always try and tell all my mates that come here from it, wherever they are, don't stay on the Ibiza town and Playa del Bossa side because it's chaos, it's super expensive, everything around it is expensive. The beaches are overcrowded, you know. San Antonio and San Antonio Bay is the best place to kind of base yourself for the week because you'll save yourself a hell of a lot of money.
Our first night was down the West End. I was only 18 when I first come here. Walking down that West End, 100 different bars being PR'd and everything like that. It was like a jungle, do you know what I mean? Hundreds of people absolutely everywhere.
Well, I started in the West End. Literally, I played every single club and bar on the West End. I've done them all. And then got residency at Hush. I was there for 4 years and literally best days of my life. I met all my friends on the West End that are now 13 years later, my best friends, my bridesmaids at my wedding, you know. So many friendships have been built here and I've not had that anywhere else in the world. I did like loads of mixes, put them out, you know, gave them out to everyone in the West End. And for the first year, I didn't really get a response. It was only on my last week in Hush, it was me against another girl, and I ended up getting the residency, but I played every single night for booze and rent, basically, and that was it. There was no other party in my mind. I wanted to be signed to Defected, and I wasn't going to stop until I got there.
Sam Divine is a great DJ. She's hustled, she's worked and grafted, and you know, she's played bars where no one gives a and she's rocked it and, you know, turned people around and got the reaction from a dance floor where other DJs wouldn't be able to get that reaction. So I've never seen her play the same set twice, ever. She came through the ranks when it was even harder to be a female DJ. I mean, now at the moment there's this big clamour supporting female DJs, and I think that's absolutely right. There should really be balance. But she did it. She's a pioneer. She's a really important part of everything that we do. Ibiza does have to have a little bit more balance in its offering. You know, there's a lot of emphasis on VIP and the drinks being priced so highly, and that's fine as long as there's an alternative. You know, if there's an alternative for kids to go to where things are affordable, then I think that's fine. That was part of our reasoning for going to Eden in San Antonio.
Really?
We wanted to be where the kids were.
So I'm out here today with Hidden Ibiza Tours. We're getting a fresh tour of the island today. Dominic, what can we expect today from
So basically we're just driving you around a few of the most beautiful places around Ibiza.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they come here, everyone tends to congregate in the same busy main places.
Okay.
So especially in August now, you go to like Calabasa, Calaconte, it's so busy you can't put a towel down.
Really?
And then you come here, it's like 10 minutes from San Antonio, and there's a beautiful little cove. A lot of the time you come here, there's like one naked man and his dog, and they're the only people around. And yeah, we're going to take you guys cliff jumping first. You don't have to backflip. Backflips are optional.
Shallow.
It's deep enough you don't hit the bottom, and the reason like it looks shallow is because the water's so clear. I missed it. You're going to have to go again. Yeah, we're going to take you guys to Festival Club after this, which is an abandoned nightclub on top of a valley. We went there a couple of weeks ago, actually. We bumped into Armin van Buren.
Really?
He was having a photo shoot and an interview there.
Festival Club, so it's a big outdoor nightclub that was built in the late 60s. Yeah, so it got abandoned, then obviously loads of graffiti artists keep coming up and tagging it, so it's covered in like really cool graffiti everywhere. DJs have shoots up here.
How long's this been abandoned now?
46 years.
46 years abandoned?
Yeah, abandoned, so no, it's a really cool place, and like not many people know about it, so there's hardly anyone ever up here. It's like a bit of a hidden gem. A lot of people don't think it's a nice island either, they think they just come for the party.
Right.
But it's really nice to like show people that it is a nice island, there's cool stuff like this, have a good day out, and then you can still go out and party and stuff at night. But it's cool, like every time we come up there's new graffiti up here, so like the dinosaur, that only got done the other week. We have a walk up to the top, there's you can get in the tower at the top, it's a really cool little viewpoint.
And yeah, after the abandoned nightclub, we're going to take you up to Stonehenge. A lot of people don't realise there's Stonehenge in Ibiza,
No,
but it's not. It's not an ancient one. It was built in 2006.
Okay.
So it's like a modern piece of art. And the guy who commissioned it to be built is this Canadian billionaire who's the founder of Cirque du Soleil.
Really?
And he got a record-breaking fine. He
do.
started working in the circus, and then he worked his way up. He started his own circus. Now he's like a multi-billionaire, but he's really eccentric. So he's just built this Stonehenge next to his house.
We'd come back to the hotel and, you know, the sun was just coming up and we'd be on the roof of the Pikes Hotel jumping into the pool, literally. I think that was one of the most memorable times is the stay, just the stay in general at the Pikes Hotel.
The very first time, I remember was 13, 14 years old. My parents took me to Pikes Hotel.
It's renowned as one of the most debaucherous places on the island where the rich and the famous could go to truly let their hair down. I've heard stories about the parties that used to go on in Pikes, about Queen used to have parties in Pikes, the rock band Queen, when Freddie Mercury was there, and they had dwarfs carrying trays of mountains of around for people. I wasn't part of it, so it's all hearsay. It might have happened, it might not, I don't know.
It has a legacy, so
just to be able to stay there and rub shoulders with some of the people, the famous people who stayed there was really nice.
And Tony Pike, he arrived with a very clever idea to make a very nice hotel in the middle of the woods. They did good things for the tourism. Now maybe it's right, many people doing copies, they were original.
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue?
Kylie Minogue.
Okay.
Yeah, she spent a week on my boat with me.
Okay. So you have a boat out here too?
Well, I did have. I can't have it anymore because I shipwrecked in the Bermuda Triangle and it became world news. I don't want to be rude here, but the common herd of people, they're looking for someone to look up to. And only time they've chosen me.
Why?
It must be so incredibly fantastic. I built this myself over a 20-year period. I opened the hotel Independence Day, July the 4th, 1980. And I've been blessed with wonderful guests ever since.
What actually brought you out to Ibiza to begin with?
Well, life.
Really?
Just life. I mean, I've never wanted to be normal. Most people are bored. I don't want to be bored. So I'm all the time creating something, and I have a creative personality. I get multi-millionaires staying here saying, publicly said, it's the best hotel in the world. I brought so many famous people here.
Is that what it is?
And they love me, and they love the hotel, they love the island. So they go away with a good impression of Ibiza. I'm not hiding anything, I'm not pretending anything, I'm not a ponce, I'm just a hard-working man. I started without a penny, I'm ending without a penny. But I don't worship money, I've never done anything for money. I think that's what makes me different. At the end of the vacation they say, oh, Mr. Pike, it's been wonderful. That's my reward.
Those who don't know what Manumission is, like, you would understand because it's been over 10 years since it's happened, but it's probably the most important night that's ever happened on the island.
That's what made me do what I do now. That very first experience I had of going to Clue at 15 years of age was mind-blowing, and it still mind-blows me now. And sometimes when I do things, I refer back in my inner thoughts, my subconsciousness, to that Clue Club. It was such a powerful impact on me. And I literally came home and I was like, that's what I want to be.
It was really free, man. That's when Ibiza was like unregulated.
Right.
And you could push, yeah, I can't tell you stuff because my daughter's here. It was wild. It was wild. The girls going wild, but it was like Monday nights going wild, and everything goes. You know what I mean? And
I was fortunate to go to Manumission, and it just blew my mind. I just knew I had to be here in some way. Little did I know, 2 years later I would be DJing at Manumission, which was pretty wow.
It was like a circus. Right. And they dressed it up and made you feel so comfortable that you had the time of your life. And that was every Monday. They didn't even announce DJs, man. It was like you knew where to go on Monday because that was the show. And it was more than just a party. It was like a whole movement of like really extreme, eccentric people who just wanted to push as much. I mean, there was a sex show, man. And at 6 in the morning, there was the promoter and his wife would perform, man, in front of 10,000 people every Monday, dude.
Perform what?
Sex. In front of 10,000 people.
Okay, all right.
Even the cops are like, just come to see the show. They don't even care about what was happening. So.
It was like AROO, like times 20 on like kind of debauchery and hedonism. It was just the kind of stuff that would happen. I probably can't really talk about on camera because it was completely bonkers, like kind of circus, but naughty circus.
It was a crazy time on your mission night. So I played it a couple of times, and it was in Privilege at the time in the main room, which was huge. There were like something 8,000 or 10,000 people in there. And I remember once DJing, because the DJ booth was by the pool in the middle of the club, and I was playing, and then everybody just stood still and stared at me. And it was like, the whole room was completely stationary. Everyone stopped dancing, just stared at me. I was like, this is weird. And I couldn't figure it out. And then I looked over my shoulder, and there was a midget giving himself a just over my shoulder.
Suddenly the music would stop and a spotlight would come on, and to some actors up in the top corner who would portray a scene of love or of fantasy and then carry on, and then the music would carry on and take the rest of the audience on a magical journey all the way through the event.
It's either 99 or 2000. And I came over to play Manumission in Privilege, actually, with a percussionist. It was the biggest gig that I'd ever played at that time of my life. And that's when I realised, wow, there's a lot going on out there other than me living in Leeds.
A couple from Manchester, Mike and Claire, had this concept about hosting a live erotic show in the middle of a dance floor, in the middle of a super club.
These legends from the island, which are like gods, you know, when you see these people, the way they dress, their charisma, their wisdom, this is rare.
What would happen at Manumission Mondays to someone that actually doesn't know anything about what we're talking about?
Well, that's stuff of legend. We can't share that.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
Everything would happen. Everything, and everything would happen.
For us, we were looking at all the greatest parties throughout history, so we had very high expectations of ourselves, and we only competed with ourselves, and it was
and history.
Yeah. So it was kind of a lifestyle. Manumission was something that people would come to week in, week out, year in, year out, and it was a particular type of free-thinking person who would come, and everybody was together. We didn't believe in, it was natural selection, so everybody would kind of pile in, and from fashion designers to drug smugglers like our friend Howard Marks, to supermodels, and then ravers and drag queens, and everyone. It was amazing.
It was a really cool mix of people. The beginning Manumission, it's a Latin word, means freedom from slavery. Okay. So the idea was anybody's.
You can be free to do whatever you want. Whoever you want to be.
As long as you didn't harm anybody else. Those were the rules. And people took to that very, very well.
When we were asked to come back and do these nights at Leo, we decided to do a kind of rock and roll take on Romeo and Juliet. In our story, they don't die. There's a lot of suicide, sadly, in the music industry. And so we wanted to clear away from that and put some light into the story. So in our story, the poison they take isn't really poison, it's a psychedelic. Okay. So the psychedelic opens the hearts and minds of our Romeo and Juliet, and they come back together. And in our story also the Montagues and Capulets are fashion houses. So with the enlightenment of Romeo and Juliet, they come back together and they show their parents to stop the feuding, and to celebrate a perfume called Ego. I think Manumission would have been able to happen if social media had been
existed.
All cameras were banned, for example, in our party, so people had a sense.
Everything was meant to be a memory in Manumission. It was like when you were up, slightly out of your head, whatever, you'd see things that you would never believe, and then that was and it was just inside you, not to be recorded or put around or.
Yeah, it's your personal memory.
It's your personal memory.
This is where the whole toy thing came about in clubs.
Okay.
Because I would go to the toy shop and spend like £1,000 on toys and just dress everybody up. There would be toy time at midday on the Tuesday morning.
When you say toys, what do you mean exactly?
Like wigs and moustaches and noses, costumes,
like
props.
Just loads and loads of things to make people just dress up and just totally lose sense of who they are in everyday life. And they did. I mean, Carl Cox was in a Tina Turner wig. Disco dancing with me on the terrace.
You cannot explain how unbelievable that place was, especially when you've not really experienced anything like that before in your life. Like the local clubs where I'm from, it's nothing. They're like pubs compared to Manumission. But when you first walk in there, then insane amount of fun. AROO does like quite wacky stuff. So imagine young people coming here and they go to AROO, might have a similar effect.
So my first time to AROO, when I walked in, my first AROO experience, I cried. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know what's going on, but I just cried. I'm like, this is amazing.
A lot of people like AROO.
for their first experience of Ibiza. I mean, when someone's just coming on holidays for the first time and maybe they don't know a lot about the music and they don't know a lot about Ibiza, I would probably send them to AROO because it's quite visual and it's like submersive. You have to get involved, you know what I mean?
It's a very hedonistic party. You know, you have to come here to loosen up and forget your problems and just be yourself and don't worry and don't care about what's happening around you because everything is good vibes and fun. The only problem that we have is the time, because obviously the night before there's a party going on as well and we cannot start setting up until 8:30 in the morning. On a normal day, on a Saturday, it will be about 200-250 people working between performers, actors, technicians, everything, the whole team.
It's all about just being a kid. Again, regressing your life back to how you used to play around, what you used to do. It's like an adult's playground, and that's all discotheques are. It's an adult's playground. That's how we spend our money, it's where we spend our free time. If we were kids, we want to go to the playground or go to the park, but as adults, we want something more mature than that, and a lot of the time it happens to be a discotheque.
We came here with our best intentions of having fun. You know, at the end now, obviously the brand got bigger, we are international, but you know, like the soul of the brand is the same. We are like a family, the team is growing, now we are more than 150 people working monthly basis and 600 people working every weekend. This year we're going to do 140 shows in 70 cities in 38 countries.
Ibiza is very, very, very important for us. It happens every week, which doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Every week is a different theme, so every time if you come 2 weeks in a row, you will find something completely different. Everyone comes from so many places different in the world that you can walk around the dance floor and you can hear all kinds of languages. So I think that's what makes it so special.
So we're outside backstage at AROO. I have two of the performing artists here with me today. Which one is your favorite show?
First one.
First one, and why is that?
Basically because I was a pervert. I'm serious. I had, I ain't gonna say what, but I was big like this. I went inside, I was swinging it, helicopter mode, you know what I mean? And everybody loved it.
Really?
Yeah, and everybody wanna suck it. AROO is a party where you can express the crazy side of yourself.
Okay.
Because you come here, you don't know what costume you're gonna get.
Right.
Everything is a surprise, you know what I mean? So basically, when you come here, they gave you a costume, you need to do it. And you need to do it as best as you can.
My first year here as a vinyl DJ, I got to play in Cafe Del Mar. I know, and all I did was walk in and ask them, I've got a brand, Ibiza Vinyl Club, I play vinyl, my mates play vinyl, can I come and host a night? And they went, yeah. It's one of the most famous venues on the island. It's on Sunset Strip. It's known as a sunset venue.
A very, very nice location that people really feel like it's part of Ibiza.
You'd have people playing cello, you'd have people playing piano as the sun goes down, creating a really beautiful, unique vibe. And this continued and evolved itself.
It's three guys just starting off a little beach club bar. They started up, then they started moving on to compilations, then the rest is history. Well, it started here, obviously, on the Rock. There's a sunset bar, it's one of the first bars of Ibiza. We became a part of the sunset, rather than the sunset became part of us.
So Ken, you brought me up here, man, to the rooftop of Cafe Del Mar. Dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is something else. This is yeah, not many people know about this rooftop, and
oh man, look at that! Like, is this every night over here?
Welcome to Ibiza.
What's been your favorite experience living on the island?
Freedom.
Ibiza was visited by musicians and artists of every kind, all the time, much before the the discotheque starts.
Ibiza have a lot of power. Past many people here with culture, artists, painters, writers. It's a foundation here. We learn from the good people that they passed from here.
So I'm outside one of my favorite clubs in Ibiza, Es Paradise. Es Paradise is probably one of the oldest nightclubs out here. And it's definitely got the sickest interior design I've ever seen, dude.
Es Paradise is one of the most beautiful clubs on the island, and it's one of the most authentic clubs on the island. Marble interior is absolutely beautiful.
And so yeah, for me, my most memorable moment was walking into Es Paradise at 16, 17 years old, hearing proper house music, melodic house music for the first time.
I mean, I've played at this club for many, many years. 30 in fact. Wow.
This place is full with an old, rich, ancient history.
We love the island, and for me it was totally clear whenever I would launch a brand, has to be in Ibiza. We are not looking for a typical fashion show, you know, we were looking to do something different, you know, just like Ibiza, having nice people around, good atmosphere, good girls, like energy. That's what it's all about, right?
And because Ibiza was always my dream to put my stuff out here, because I love the island and it was an inspiration for me.
And especially being in Ibiza, you know, you need to be able to push your creative boundaries. You know, Ibiza is known as a party island, and, you know, it'd be great for people to recognise that it's a place for creative talent.
Ibiza Fashion Festival brings a flavour of global brands. It brings like class, it brings character, it brings a little bit of tech, a little bit of storytelling, and it brings cool people together. You know, we belong here.
We're outside of Heart Ibiza. We're here for the ANAN'E and VEGA closing party with super exclusive guest Luciano. Let's go inside and see what's going on. This is Ibiza.
Being here in Ibiza with our, our weekly residency, our summer residency at Heart Ibiza. It's the ritual with ANAN'E and VEGA every Tuesday at Heart. Because we started off at the Blue Marlin, then we were over at Ushuaia Tower, and now we're at Heart. We're at 3 years at Heart now, and we want to bring the New York underground scene of what New York was. Being that Louis and I are both from this type of background, Louis being from the Bronx, I'm from Rhode Island, I bring my Cape Verdean roots, Afro kind of sound, and Louis with his Latin, New York disco sound. We wanted to take our audience on that journey of music, and that's where we incorporate our live band, the Louis Vega's EOL Sofrito. And there was a time where music was just not separated and just all together. And so at Heart, that's what we do. And we found a place that totally embraces that on a musical side as well as the art side and the visuals and what they bring to the table. And so that's what we've been curating and putting together, and it's going on 3 years now, so I think we're doing something right. Being a woman and tackling on this industry, I think there's a lot of positive things happening. I think there's a lot of women out there making noise, and I'm definitely doing my part to inspire other women to do the same.
Well, I have a really special relationship with BEHROUZ, and as soon as I met him, you know, he became like a father figure for me. You know, I really respect the fact that he's been around for so many years, and he's been consistent and always pushing.
Finally, we came to Ibiza, and I started doing this thing at heart because I feel comfortable with the room. It's a mid-sized room, capable of bringing different ideas and DJs, you know. So it's not just about one sound. I grew up in a little hippie town called Santa Cruz. And when I came here, I fell in love with it because, you know, the hippie movement here in Ibiza started in the 60s, and those hippies came from San Francisco and Santa Cruz. And right away when I moved here, I fell in love with it because people were so warm, and they basically raised me and loved me, and from there on, it was like a love between Ibiza and me. Probably will come here for the rest of my life.
Have you seen the Ibiza film that's on at the minute? What the hell was that about?
Oh, it's like some love thing or something, isn't it?
It was awful. It's not even in Ibiza. Terrible, absolutely terrible. I watched it with Jess, but we literally skipped through it and we were like, nah.
I've seen documentaries that have done, I think, and stuff like that. Have done documentaries on the island, and it's just, I don't know.
It didn't really portray what I know now of what Ibiza is about.
They see of Ibiza what they want to see from Ibiza. Most of the times are productions or films or documentaries produced by some part of the industry that interested in some particular part of Ibiza, and they forget about the rest.
How the media have portrayed Ibiza in the past is wrong. It's that simple.
It's horrible to watch, especially if you live here.
People out here are real. People out here are accepting and welcoming. They're not all rich toffs out trying to prove themselves, you know? Like, people are out here because they want a better life and they can have it here.
When you come here and you experience actually what the island's about, you get some of the energy from it. They don't portray any of this at all.
Now I think you're beginning to start getting documentaries that are showing the real Ibiza, the beautiful side, which thank God is happening, because like I think it could affect people. I remember when I told my parents I'm going to move to Ibiza, I think they looked horrified. They were thinking, God, have we got to come and visit you there?
There's a certain spirituality about this place that everyone embraces at some point.
It's always had a spiritual side here, and it tends to be, I think, the further north you go and on the island, the more spiritual it is. There's all the hippies and the yoga thing and the meditation thing, so it tends to be further north.
I definitely feel that Ibiza has a spiritual side to it. I mean, it's not on this side, not on the party side, but like they always call it the magical island. Ibiza is the magical island. And I've seen it, I've experienced it, and it's absolutely amazing.
The spiritual side of Ibiza is in everywhere. In everywhere. You realize you met the people that you have to meet here in Ibiza, and you can feel the spirituality of Ibiza everywhere you go. Of course, more near the sea or in the mountains. My daughter or my son, they appreciate the island as I appreciate, but they don't see the bad sides of the island. When I go with Lola around, I discover a new place every time, and I can see the place with her eyes. What I can see is new. It's like a new island.
I don't know if you realise, but people sleep really well in Ibiza. I mean, I sleep so well, and I have the most vivid dreams, really, really specific, crazy, vivid dreams. And that's, you know, that's just like normal.
There's a lot of people in the world that are connecting with their souls, connecting with their spirits, and looking for something more original and more unique. So they're looking to go back to the tribal ways.
Every club, probably starting with the Zoo project and the Mandala Garden, and then Woo Moo at the Cobra Centre, they all want a spiritual element to it now, because younger people want to know what is spiritualism, what is Buddhism, what is this, and Ibiza is a heartbeat of that, probably more than any other place in the world. Both my neighbours are devout Buddhists, and the only thing that disturbs this in the morning is when they're chanting. I wake up in the morning, I can hear them chanting.
And then another gate opened up, like the part of Ibiza where spiritual people are coming here over.
Hello, I'm Konstantin, I'm the gong master, and I play symphonic planet gongs, which are custom tuned to the orbital frequency of planets. And I play here in Ibiza since 3 years. I do full moon sessions at Vedra and regular sessions in Azzaro and Ibango. I'm a musician in the first place, and I also produce electronic music, and I tune my music also to planetary frequencies. And on a really deep level, I'm a cosmic artist. I like the cosmos and I like science, and I try to combine those, yeah. So this is all about tuning, because I play with natural frequencies, and I actually treat people with serious health issues. So it's not just woo-woo stuff, it's serious stuff. I'm all my life like this. I'm quite wild, yeah. I never followed the standard stream. I always knew I have to follow my passion. And it's a harder way, but it's the real way. So I feel happy, and I know I'm doing exactly what I have to do. And I strongly believe in that. We are spirits, we came here, we experience a life on this planet. And I also think that out there in the galaxy, we are heroes, because we are on the planet of suffering, and we master that. Sima is a goddess of dance, and it feels very good to have her dancing around, and I love to do that, play the gongs and people move with it. It's not just about meditating and lay down and listen. It's very energetic, and it's good actually to move with the gongs, because you spread the energy all over your over the body.
I feel all the elements coming to me and charging me and energizing me. I mean, especially the fire, since that's what I dance with. But also Konstantin brings the vibrations of the gongs, the vibrations of the planet. We have the beautiful ocean surrounding us, the gentle breeze. So it's very nice to feel one with nature.
Fear is a psychic virus, and love is the antivirus. So this is all we have to know and to practice. We have to practice love. Don't worry about anything, because it's stronger than fear, and we don't have to worry. We just have to practice love. That's it.
So DJs are shamans. The producers of the music are shamans. The musicians that we speak about are shamans as well, but also so are the people that give us natural remedies. So are the people that just use their voice. So are the people that open up a circle for someone to talk and express themselves with. We've all got our own natural healing instincts within us. I thoroughly believe this, and that for me is what shamanism is all about. But what he's created up in Ibango, which is what he's called the place, is a community or a network of people, drummers, musicians that go there on a Tuesday evening throughout the summer and through the winter as well, just to jam. They have hang drums, normal djembe drums, all different types of percussion. People turn up with keyboards, you have vocalists, bass guitarists, harmonica players. I sit there and play cymbals sometimes, or clap my hands, or make some weird noises.
The idea, the concept of this gathering just comes from the communal friendship I was involved in when I lived in Israel, without the need to have a flash car or big house or obviously money. All you trade is friendship or some chips or some nice cooking or a skill. But on a kibbutz you meet everyone and it's wonderful. It's exactly the same as Ibiza. I'd started the gathering at my last house, similar kind of thing. 10 years I'd have 3,000 people a month come through my doors, and every one of those people was kind of entertained by what I arranged. I had to do events where I had to make 10 grand to break even. It's not very nice pressure. And that's why this is so wonderful. There's no pressure. If no one comes, it's fine. If 100 people come, it's fine. And there's no knowledge of what's going to happen when we play. We've had almost every instrument you can think of come and play here, but we play together. Here, if a woman is going to sing, everyone will see there's a woman going to sing, and they'll drop down the level. Or if it's a violin, or any instrument, harmonica, violin, guitar. So it's never chaotic. Here, a lot of the younger people are catching on to this spiritual thing. It's a kind of a trend, but it's a wonderful trend. It's kind of fashionable, but it's a good fashion.
The first time I kind of touched on this spiritual bit, which I had my friends tell me about in 2005, and I was like, yeah, you blah, 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 blah. The first time was when I went to a place called, or when I looked at a place called Vedra.
But yeah, it was amazing. I'd heard a lot about it. I've seen a lot of photos of it, and you know, to actually go there to Cala de Hort and take the trek down the dirt track to the cliff top there, sit there, watch the sun go down. Probably the most beautiful place I've ever seen the sun go down. You know, Vedra's, it's breathtaking and it's so tranquil, it's so chilled, and everyone's there to appreciate what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, there's magic, and if you go to Vedra, you know yourself. You know, it's a beautiful place, and you can feel there's something else.
Vedra is known as the third most magnetic place on the entire planet. So if you take away the North Pole and the Bermuda Triangle, then you've got Vedra, which attracts so many people to it.
You can go with friends or alone, and you can think about your life, your problems, whatever you want, and you will fix it. You can fix everything there.
I think you go there with a mindset that's perhaps looking for, like a special kind of calm or a special kind of a feeling, and then the setting allows you to do that. I think it might be what's within you projecting onto the rock more than the rock projecting onto you.
Apparently there are some places on Earth that are centres for creative people that because of the magnetism of the place, and it's to do with geology and things that are way beyond my understanding. But Vedra is supposed to be one of these places.
Obviously all the stuff about Vedra, the magnetic island, this and that, and it's got the connotations of the spiritualness of Ibiza. I'm not so sure how many people actually experience that.
People will look at the Vedra rock and say, that's the most magnetic point, and you have to have a reference point. But I think that the fact that you've come here to be free and you're emitting good energy, I think it all comes from everyone here.
So we're outside of Benirras Park here in Ibiza. Many a DJ have performed here, from the likes of Carl Cox to the Martinez brothers. The list just goes on and on. But one of the most infamous parties here on the island is called the Zoo Project.
completely underground. They've never advertised. We never advertise which DJs we have playing. It's all a secret until people get there on the day. So that also creates a real nice vibe around it. It was started off as a workers' party. It's placed in an old abandoned zoo in the hills of Benirras, which is 2 kilometres outside San Antonio. But as the seasons have gone on, 2007, 2008, 2009, then the reputation of the zoo project has just grown because of the Workers' Network. So they go home, talk to their friends about it. Next year, everyone wants to go. Next year, even more people want to go. Every event that we've done, someone has come up to me and walked away with something, some form of spiritual connection, whether they've had a click that meditation's really good, or they've seen us doing some performance or some spiritual ritual. Something always happens, and the click that people have is their soul. Their soul connects with us. The soul is like, what are they doing? This is nice, this is different. I want to go and find out a little bit more. And the opening of the mind, the expansion of the consciousness is one of the specific reasons that we created the Evolution Project in the first place.
There's a lot of people come through our ranks, you know, and so we came here for love, not money, and the people came here and could really feel the vibe that this is a movement, not a party or an event. We had a very relaxed door policy as well, because we knew everybody. There's no rules here, so you get every walks of life. We've got 2 billionaires down in the VIP, just chilling out, you know, like running around. They don't do face paint. And then you've got, you know, like worker society, solid Ibiza, professional clubbers. They're here at the front of the dance floor. And you've got like the tourists who are here just to sort of, get away from, break free from lifestyles at home, break free from reality, and they're here. They just get makeups up, and it's like you've got an Irish guy and a Colombian person hugging each other. Wow, when you actually come here and you have this kind of little bit kind of Burning Man feel, you know, that actually people just throw away all their inhibitions and actually really connect with each other, you know, and doesn't matter what nationality you are, whether you're fat, thin, whether you're vegan or you know, like down in the restaurant, you've got falafels, and then you've got barbecue. Sorry, and then sort of side by side, you've got these slow cooked ribs with this amazing falafels with fresh sauce, you know, and so it's caters for everybody. As you step through those doors, we've got the big archways, and you step through, and it's like you're stepping into a new dimension where you can release yourself.
We don't believe in hierarchy. We don't believe that anyone's better than us. We're all here. We're all on the same planet. We're all doing the same thing. And Zoo Evolution is a place for us to connect with one another and for people to take something away and understand that.
Oh, I can't tell you because it's the secret one. It's favored by the gay community, who is also very free and they like to be kind of like, you know, spontaneous in what they do, so you can escape and not be seen.
There are nudist beaches, there are beaches where hippies hang out. You go to Benirras Beach on a Sunday, you know, and there's 100 percussionists and drummers and people dancing, etc.
Obviously, on the quieter side of the island, you have things like Benirras, which I love to go there,
went there
to
a
just
few
chill.
weeks ago, yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Benirras has been synonymous with the hippie movement, and on one corner of Benirras Beach, people come together, as many people as they want, just to drum. And it's just drumming circles, drumming circles, drumming circles, drumming circles.
It's one of the few beaches on the island that there's no hotels around, so I think it was probably the only place where you could actually play the drums without some house phoning up the police saying that his kids can't sleep.
And people just get up and start dancing and start taking their clothes off and spinning around, running in the sea. There's a connection that people have with their souls, with their freedom, that you don't get in normal clubs. You know, normal clubs are full of pretense, they're full of ego, they're full of, I can't dance like that with my hands in the air or close my eyes or spin around on my head because people are watching. What are they going to think?
Where do you see Ibiza heading in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
Hoodie. Well, you know, they don't get them prices down. I mean,
nowadays, the gap between the middle class and the high class is just ridiculous. There's been more massive yachts in Ibiza than there ever has.
I think money changed Ibiza. You know, things got more expensive.
I know that they have to keep those environments running and they need to get the money in, for sure. But it's not like to soak the people out, you know, what's going on.
Like when someone come up to me and charged me €8 for a bottle of water, obviously that was a bit of a shock. But you know, that's part and parcel. When I think when you work here and you realise how much money the clubs spend on the nights and the lineups, you can actually understand the drink prices and all that kind of stuff.
Ibiza was more like a party island. If you would go to Ibiza, it was like, you're gonna get off your nut, you know? Nowadays it's a bit more like, Ibiza, you know, it's a bit more exclusive type place, you know?
VIP in Ibiza is becoming the cool thing to do, you know.
Some of these people save up their whole year just to come here for a weekend, and maybe we should just let them go a little bit crazy. At least allow them that without looking down on them too much.
Back in the days, it really had a good vibe. It was just really like housey and dancey and loving and all that type of stuff. Then I think that, you know, more the money came into the factor, so it took it a little bit back. It turned into this glam fashion, and that took it back from what the music was that got us here in the first place. So now you got people that, you know, they're not dancing, they're making sure their clothes look right. You know, it's all that bull that put us back a little bit. I'm not gonna say there's like the EDM a little bit, but it glammed it up a little too much. But I think now that we're back to house is a feeling, I think that's where we need to be. That's where it started, and that's where it needs to stay.
House and techno is about escapism. People enjoy losing yourself to the music. If you've got VIP tables there, it's totally opposite, polar opposite to why we enjoy house and techno, I think. And for me, I'm really against it, and I've said it, I'm being quite open about it. I don't think it has a place.
People tend to focus on the negative of that, and this kind of like new injection to the island hasn't really affected San Antonio, this side of the island, but the other side of the island, it's injected a lot of money. It's meant that the clubs can afford to book bigger lineups again, and it's attracted more people from different countries, like especially Asian markets and USA markets, which is now pumped up the island. I've never seen it so busy, to be honest, and there's so much saturation with club nights going on now.
The problem begins for me when you focus more on the VIP people than on the normal regular clubber. Because the regular clubber is the one who's been coming year after year to dance and to enjoy the party, and you need to always give them the best experience you can, both of them, to the VIPs and to the clubbers.
Ibiza's changing a lot. Social media has taken its toll. I mean, social media can be a great bringer together of people, but at the same time, it can isolate.
Unfortunately now social media has taken over with your phones, and it has sort of like made now that people just want to run by, not listen, not talk, have a conversation, not want to know where you're from, where you're about. And to me, that's what makes what I do for 15 years something special.
Today the parties are amazing, but phones have kind of taken over a little bit, so people are more concerned about getting that perfect video or that selfie, and that can kind of numb the atmosphere a bit, actually.
You know, it used to be word of mouth in terms of who's got the hottest tune and who's getting booked the most, but now it's like who's got the most response on Instagram, who's getting the most views, likes. So it doesn't necessarily mean the music's good.
There's a thing at the moment where everyone's going, oh, don't take your phones out, don't take your phones out, just dance, enjoy the music, enjoy the moment. Well, if you're a kid and you're on a dance floor listening to your favourite DJ and it's going off, and you want to remember it, but you want to tell your friends, I'm here at this moment, I'm living this, right?
When I first came here 6 years ago to now, it's a huge change. But even from last season to this season, huge change.
When I got here 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, they were already saying that the island was different. Like they were not happy about the island, and for me it was the best moment of my life. You know, like I got here and I lived the best part of my life.
Everyone comes into this industry when they want to be a promoter or a DJ because it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to work in the nightlife. Then you realize that this is a real business. So you need to professionalize yourself and you need to treat this as a real business. And I think that's what Ibiza's changed as well, is moving into that.
Or the most bad noise, it's not the noise you have in your ears. It's when you have noise because you are hungry.
The evolution was already spoken and it was in motion 20 years ago. And that's when people realized that it was just more than a party place and more of a tourist place, and becoming more of a business, and smart business people do smart changes. But at the same time, it's safer to go to a nightclub.
I don't take it in a bad way, I am always really positive. And my father always told me, and my grandfather, like if you want to survive in this business, you cannot complain. You have to look to the future, and you have to be faster than others. Yeah, because in our business, in the show business, if you don't evolve, you die. Like innovate, for us, is everything. My father tells me all the time, Juan, when the moment you stop innovating, we are dead. That's it.
It's all about what you're offering. Like if you're offering something new and something fresh, people are gonna come. But at some point, people want something different and they want to explore. And then they explore, and then they realize, oh, I went here, I went to Croatia, I went to Greece, I went to Italy, I went to this. It was okay. Okay, let me go back.
The clubbing industry in Ibiza boomed in the late 70s, early 80s. In Pasha.
Pasha Group is something amazing. It's a view of a visionary person who is called Ricardo Urgel. And can you imagine, which is the average time of surviving of a club
5 years.
worldwide?
5 to 10 years, maybe.
4 to 5.
So how has Pasha survived and thrived in this environment in Ibiza? How did that happen?
This is not a mystery. This is a magician.
Okay.
Like most of the inventions, you think, how did anybody thought about that before? It was so easy, no?
Well, tonight we're at Pasha and we're here for the Flower Power Party. What these guys have put together tonight is nothing short of extraordinary.
So I've been there 2 years now. It's my second summer with Pasha. It's the best place I've ever worked for on the island, because so many artists started out in Pasha. I'd actually say it was the mother hub of the island, the home of artists.
So Flower Power at Pasha is a 70s orientated party where people dress up as hippies, and the music that's in there is music from the 70s and the 80s. Because it's so different to all the other clubs on the island, the vast majority of the people that come here absolutely love it. It's the club on the island that most people associate Ibiza with.
Always been a girl's desire to come to the island.
Okay.
Flies a motherfucker, flies a motherfucker. I'm high
first experience was living on the beach and showering on the beach and relying on tourists who were helping us get food. My first experience in Ibiza was survival, literally. I think after that I ended up in the zoo project at my first actual proper job. It's an island where I can be myself, an island where I can meet people similar to myself, an island where I can evolve creatively and feel less pressured. So Ibiza to me is almost a sanctuary. It was the opportunity to experience things that I might not experience in other places where there's so much structure. It taught me how to be more me.
I'm Seema. I'm a fire performer. I came to Ibiza to try to find the next level in my performance. I think I did achieve my goal. Even just being here feels really special, and just arriving here and Ibiza welcoming me with open arms, this feeling of warmth and this feeling of just being at home. Even just to have achieved that is already success. Ibiza is very special, like it's very well balanced. It has this side of spirituality, yoga and meditation balanced with the other extreme of partying, and it's this party side that hosts these opportunities to perform. The path of a performer, you get surrounded with a lot of temptation. Sometimes there's a little too much abundance, and in anything in life you should maintain balance. So sometimes I find it difficult to achieve that homeostasis, and I question my path as a performer, but I always quickly come back to the certainty that I've taken the correct path, because it's my passion, it's my talent, it's what I'm good at, and there's no sign more valid than that. And I believe it's all of our duties to follow our passions and to choose this path of our passions.
Yeah, then one year a friend of mine told me to come to Ibiza. Well, I came to Ibiza and I loved it. Like a whole new world opened for myself. And yeah, the first year was really difficult. Yeah, I had 3 jobs, and for a month and a half I didn't have a house, but thank God finally we found something. Really expensive, but it was good. And then yeah, actually people start to know you, you start to know people, like you can lie on the beach and then know a person that knows another person and he can give you work, and then yeah, that's how you met people here and actually how you find work. One thing in Ibiza is that you always have opportunities. A lot of things comes up to you, and if you do properly your work, and I think if you go like honestly through life and with people, then you're always going to find the same for you. And every year is getting better and better.
Now, how many sets do you have to do during that night, and how long are they?
They vary from club to club, but usually it's 4 times dancing 15 minutes. That's like the standard time. When you come down, you are sweating and you have to give it your all, so it's better to do short bursts. In the winter, I work really hard. I do lots of yoga, I do weight training, I go to the gym all the time. I eat a very strict vegetarian diet.
All year round?
Yeah, all year round I eat that diet. My diet would be the thing I maintain the entire year, and then the exercise I more maintain in the winter. And then once I've done that in the winter, when I come into summer, because I'm dancing every day, it just kind of stays.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, it would be great if I could say, oh yeah, I still do yoga every day when I'm here, but I don't, because I don't have time.
I think it's an amazing place, and what they did in the last few years is superb.
I love Ocean Beach. I think my mates who built it have just got a vision of something which is so great. To be able to make that happen the way it has is unbelievable.
the love of my heart, would recommend Ocean Beach because that's the home that gave me everything this season.
I actually love it when people come to the island for the first time and they haven't been, because I think a lot of people have a certain perception, don't they, of like the rave scene and things like that. The island in general is just absolutely stunning, full of hidden gems, full of wicked, wicked things, full of amazing, crazy, lunatic people, and it's got everything for all ages.
All of the DJs, they wait for the Ibiza season to break new music and break new styles, because the crowd that comes here is a crowd that is intelligent, is a crowd that is, they know what they're looking for, and they come here for a reason, and it's the perfect testing ground.
Great thing with Ibiza as well is it's one of those places where you can really test the waters. If you don't take a risk, you're likely not to stand out. If you do take a risk, you're going to get a reaction. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a good reaction, but it can just be your own reaction, you know? So you might not get it right the first time either. You can always try again. And I think that's key in this business is just to keep going. You can't really stop at all.
The kind of people that come to Ibiza are the kind of people that play music that maybe other people in other places wouldn't think about playing.
Ibiza for us, for example, is like a showroom, you know, because people from all over the world come on a weekly basis to Ibiza. So you can do 20 parties every Saturday, and every Saturday the people are going to be different.
You know, there's been a big shift in music in the entire world, and Ibiza is the place where it happens first and kind of dictates, you know.
There's the umbilical cord of electronic music. This is where everything just like flows and comes out. And like we were talking about, it's like a testing ground. So it's good to come here and, you know, you come here with an idea and you play it and you see it works, and then you're like, okay, I'm good. And then you spread that love all around the world, you know? If it works here, you know it's gonna work everywhere, and the right people are gonna know about it.
We tested in Ibiza first, then we take it to Barcelona, Madrid, and once we know the show is ready, we take it to the rest of the world. This is like the Fashion Week of Milan, you know, where everyone comes here, checks what's going on, they want to see what is going to happen in the next 10 years of the industry. So I consider this, for us, the most important show of the summer. So even though we are doing five shows this weekend, I always try to come to Ibiza in order to make sure everything is smooth and perfect.
The clubs are the main reason why people come here. Some of the clubs here are the best clubs in the world, so yes, get amongst it. But I just think balance is absolutely key with Ibiza.
I don't think you can get that anywhere else in the world, where you have the beaches, the energy of the island, the spiritual side of the island, the wellness, the feel good, as well as party and listening to so much different music and DJs from all over the world.
It gives both things, Ibiza. There's the hedonism, there's the partying, and then there's the tranquility. I mean, you're here at my house, you cannot hear anything. It's just like, this is my sanctuary, you know? This is the balance that I need in my life. So, and Ibiza gives that.
To me right now at this second, it will be a place of where I can balance my life between being a father and a husband and a normal person. Okay. And then at night, put on my cape like Batman and go and play. You know what I mean?
That's what I explain to everybody all the time about the island. They think that we just come here and it's a constant party, but it actually is a very calm, beautiful, family-loving life out here.
One of the best things of Ibiza is that you can relax on winter, but not on summer.
If it was over 12 months, it wouldn't work. If it was in 6 months, it probably equally wouldn't work. But because it's in 3 to 4 months, and everybody goes home and the island recovers, it makes it very special.
You know, I'm chilling here now at the DEFECTED villa, and this is probably the first day that I've chilled. like this all summer.
Like even us working here in the summer, you go to a beach, you go to see a sunset, and you feel you're on holidays. And that's the beautiful thing of Ibiza, you know, like that's the magic of the island. As soon as you want to take a rest or breathe, like you go to see a sunset, you go to the beach, you go to the mountain, and you really feel that energy.
The great things here is like, you know, you can come here and enjoy yourself to the fullest.
Right.
Whether you want to party or just want to take a vacation and rent a nice villa and enjoy yourself with friends and party responsibly as adults.
When I think back over the last 2 years of filming this documentary, I can't help but have tears in my eyes as I recall all the scheduled flights and sometimes anxiousness and anxiety. The island in which I had the 2 craziest love affairs of my life. The island that I left on many occasions with full-on tears as I looked out the window on the plane. The many relationships and new friends that were forged along the way. Some relationships that were strained along this crazy ride. The island truly is magical. There was a time I went to leave the island only to be told at the airport I could not leave. I didn't understand quite why this happened. However, the next experience showed me exactly why I had to stay. Looking back, I guess my heart always belonged to Ibiza, long before I stepped foot on the island for the first time. Working on this film has challenged and forged so many relationships within my personal life. Being on the island and working on this project has in fact given me a certain overwhelming patience that I've had to learn to cultivate. While working on this documentary, it actually instilled in me a determination, a persistence attitude, and self-reliance to see the job through at any and sometimes at all costs. I realized a drive and passion in me that I never knew I had. It let me see the direct possibilities of going after the things you want and not holding back or taking a back seat. The island showed me how to love myself and relax and let go, knowing that everything works out just as it should in the end. It gave me a chance to fulfill a passion and go from beginning to end on what it takes to complete a project of this magnitude. The spiritual side of Ibiza comes from the interlocking and intertwining of creative minds from all over the planet. There they create an environment and a culture that encourages people to be themselves, love who they are, and appreciate everyone around us, and the beauty of diversity. Music in itself is a religious and spiritual experience somewhat that allows people to live in the moment and reminds them of the ongoing beauty that can be sometimes forgotten in such a chaotic world. Ibiza is a reminder to live a little, dance a little, act human, be creative, and be good to each other.
Ibiza is known throughout the world. It's looked upon as one of the most famous islands in the entire world, and we're actually a really beautiful example of how over 100 different nationalities can live together in total peace and harmony on a rock which is no bigger than Greater Manchester.
The greatest lesson the island taught me is to be humble about the fact that another culture has taken you on board and give something back.
Yes, come here, have fun, but this is not a disposable island.
People need to respect the island a little bit more. It's not just a place to come and have some debauchery, you know. If you're coming here to have a holiday, respect that. There's people, locals live here, it's their home. Actually, my manager is around here. Him and his partner, they live here full time. And they walk along the beach and they have beach cleaning days where they go with a bin bag and clear the beach just to give a little bit back to the island that's given so much to them.
Parce que Ibiza, le temps est bon. Ouais, c'est comme un temps d'Afrique. Ibiza, ça porte à tout le monde. Chacun ce qu'il fait.
Like I said, I know people from Africa, the African workers. A lot of people call them lucky luckies and disrespect them all the time. And they are really nice people if you give them the time of day and show them a little bit of decency, respect and love. It's as simple as that.
So it's taught me about culture, it's taught me about far more than I could have got in the UK.
and I've always been grateful for that.
We should respect every single culture that comes together. Ibiza is such a melting pot of race, sexual orientation, everything, and everyone lives in harmony, you know? And I think that's the basics of, and I don't want to sound very philosophical, but that's the basics of house music, and that's why we got into this industry, you know, because everyone is equal in the, you know, you come inside here Amnesia, everyone is the same. I don't care where you come from or, you know, or what you do at night. It's just, you come here, be free, be yourself.
Realising that people are different, and that's actually a really good thing, is something that I see happening.
A lot of people discover things like yoga and spiritualism out here. It's more than just people coming here to get as drunk or messed up as they possibly can. It's actually a really important part of our European growing up.
That's the thing about Ibiza. There's everything for everybody.
There's good things here and there's great things here, basically. And if you're looking for underground stuff, that's also here. You know, you'll get your EDM and your Sofa Hotel stuff and pool parties and all that stuff. Everybody has different choices, man. I've had to learn to embrace what's been happening here.
You know, we're still here now, we're still doing it, just in a different way. You know?
You can't stop progression, it's going to happen. And I think you have to embrace it.
Because if we don't change, then it could be catastrophic.
I'm not one of the things ain't like they used to be, gang.
Oh, it's not like it used to be. Of course it's not. I'm glad it's not, because we all need to move forward.
The people that aren't doing well that haven't done well this season are generally the people that haven't really put in as much effort and have been kind of lazy with their, you know, just doing things how they've always been done. Like now it's a real competition out there, and there's a lot higher standard of activities going on. Because of the success of this season, there's a lot more eyes on the island now. There's a lot more people taking it more seriously than they maybe were 5 years ago. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Ibiza has always been full of changes, so I think we are again in a big transformation for Ibiza.
The island's really becoming really nice now. I mean, it's always been great, but now it feels a bit more. It's developing really fast.
I hope it backtracks on a few things. I hope we just see prices just come down a little bit. I would like to see them encourage the music.
You know, we get more feeling with the island, so. We get more connection to the people. It's becoming more one family.
This is a paradise, and once you make friends and you bond with this island, it brings you back every year. And I've come back since 1995, every summer here, man.
I've been coming here since 1990, and I've not missed one season, so I've always been here. So in 30 years, I've never not come to Ibiza once.
We are gathering this crowd right now, which we call them family. And it's a good movement because hopefully we can be the change in this island.
This to me, and I'm getting goosebumps right now, this is the connectedness that I'm looking forward to spread to the whole world.
It's like a pilgrimage. I say Ibiza is like a pilgrimage. People come back year after year, whether it's for 1 or 2 days.
I've been coming to Ibiza for 20 years now. Because you go to other islands, I can go to Mallorca or I can go to the Canary Islands, and they're beautiful and amazing islands. But the feeling that I get when I land in Ibiza is different.
Which can't compare to anywhere else in the world.
A lot of people leave here, they go to Portugal or they go to a Greek island, and they go, why have I left?
You know, if you strip it all back down, Ibiza was the first to really embrace party on an island in a hot foreign country.
People attempt frequently to look at other places and think, will they be the new Ibiza? Of course they won't.
You need these things. You need these other markets. You need these other competitions to be able to evolve and always look for something beyond. That's how you keep yourself
relevant,
pushing. It's a natural process. And yeah, I think Ibiza is going through that natural process right now.
Ibiza has this energy that is unbelievable, and I think there's still no place like it. We just need to preserve it. You know, we need to make sure it's there.
I still feel exactly the same as when I came here as a raver, you know, DJing this many years later.
There's nothing bigger than Ibiza. And that's gonna remain. It's always gonna be the testing ground. There's always gonna be the place that people are gonna be like, okay, let's see if this works. Let's push this. Let's try this. You know, this is the fighting ground.
TV can never capture what Ibiza is about. Ibiza has to be experienced. And I could sell it all you like, I could hold up posters, flyers, tell you all the biggest DJs in the world are here. The reality is, until you've actually sucked in that Mediterranean air and got bitten by the odd mosquito, you won't understand it.
We love Ibiza. You know, this is my home.
We're going to be here for a long time, and we're going to make it work.
I think we can save it, you know. It's not done, but what I'm saying is we can make it better, because there's no place like it.
It's only going to get better, more beautiful places, and a safer environment, you know.
It's all about love. No ego. Ego kills creativity. It's all about love, passion, and inspiration. You know, I've been doing this for 30 years, but I swear, I still have the same inspiration when I started 30 years ago, because I learned to be grounded and let go of my ego. You know, that's it. It's all about the music. It's all about the magic, you know, and it's about you, me, and everyone else around us.
As you can see, the sun's gone down. It's another Ibiza night. Gotta get to work.